All right, let's jump right in. Have you ever thought about visiting a place that, at least on paper, doesn't even exist? Well, today we are going to do just that. We're taking a tour of a really fascinating, self-declared nation that pretty much defies the world map as we know it. So let's start with the single most important and honestly kind of baffling fact. According to the United Nations, the highest international body on the planet, Somaliland simply does not exist. Which, leads to a pretty obvious question, right? If it doesn't exist, how in the world can you take a tour there? To really get our heads around this paradox, we have to start with the official story, the story of a country that, well, isn't a country. Okay, so Somaliland's history is a real whirlwind. Picture this, it's 1960, and they get their independence from the UK, only to voluntarily give it up just 5 days later to unite with the Somali Republic. But that dream of unity, it went sour, really sour, leading to horrific bombings from the government in Mogadishu. So by 1991, they'd had enough, and they declared the very same independence they hold on to today. And the results of that declaration? Well, decades later, not one single country in the entire world officially recognizes its existence. So you've got a nation that functions in every way that matters, but it's like a ghost on the international stage. But that's just the official story. When you look at what's actually happening on the ground, the reality paints a completely different picture. Because on the ground, you find everything you would expect from a sovereign nation. I mean, there's a bustling capital city, Hargeisa, they've got their own currency, the Somaliland shilling, they even issue their own visas from their own diplomatic missions. And get this, the detail that really surprises most people, it's considered extremely safe for tourists. So what does a tour of a country that doesn't exist actually look like? Let's take a look. Your journey would probably start in the capital, Hargeisa, where a downed MiG fighter jet stands as a very stark war memorial. From there, it's just a deep dive right into the culture. You can explore these vibrant markets, uncover local history in the museum, and experience the incredible energy of the camel and livestock market. But hey, the journey isn't just about the city. You can travel back thousands of years at the Laas Geel cave paintings and then go camping on the shores of the Red Sea at Berbera Beach. You could be soaking in a desert oasis one day and then climbing the mountains overlooking the entire capital the next. 10,000. Yeah, that's how old the Laas Geel cave paintings are. And here's the crazy part. They were only discovered back in 2002. We're talking about some of the most ancient and amazingly well-preserved rock art on the entire planet. And then there's the coastline. 850 miles of just beautiful, unspoiled golden beaches lining this vast, untouched stretch of the Red Sea. And this might be the most remarkable number of all, especially for the Horn of Africa, a 0% crime rate against tourists. That's according to the tour source. Local safety is a huge point of national pride there. Okay, so maybe you're intrigued. What does it actually take to go? What are the logistics? First things first, and this is super important, a visa for Somalia is completely useless here. You absolutely must get a separate Somaliland visa from one of their missions abroad. It's one of the clearest ways they assert their independence. Now, when it comes to money, you've got to plan ahead. While they have their own currency, the Somaliland shilling, US dollars are widely accepted and pretty essential to have. You might find an ATM that works in the capital, but I wouldn't count on it, and you can pretty much forget about using credit cards for purchases. Cash is definitely king here. So what does a tour package get you? Well, essentially, all your logistics on the ground are handled. Airport transfers, hotels, transportation, your guides, even police escorts. You'll mainly be responsible for your own meals, which are super affordable, plus your flights, visa fees, and travel insurance. And the listed price for an 8-day experience like this one, it comes out. That's the price of admission to a country that, according to the rest of the world, doesn't even exist. Which, of course, brings us all the way back to where we started. Somaliland has its own government, its own currency, its own borders, and a totally unique history. It's safe, and you can visit it as a tourist. So it all just leaves you with one final question to think about. What truly makes a place a country? Is it recognition from others, or is it the reality of what actually exists on the ground?